Welcome to Follow Your Joy podcast, where intuition is the doorway to your wisdom, your genius, and your joy. I'm your host, Marla Diane, and I've been transforming creative entrepreneurs' lives for over 26 years through two businesses as a success coach and business strategist, and prior to that, an entertainment publicist and talent manager. It's time to make joy your inner GPS for life and business decisions, rather than lean on your logic and your reason first. You'll not only be following what is most authentic to you and for you, but you will live the beautiful life meant just for you. You'll come to learn that following your joy is a life and a business strategy. So listen in for inspiring entrepreneurial stories and solo casts that illuminate listening to your intuition is certainly the doorway to your wisdom, your genius, and your joy. Not sure how to access, use, or trust your intuition? Join me in the conversation to find out how. Well, hello. We are on a roll now with these compelling conversations with my guests. And I couldn't be more happy about that. Did you hear the last episode with Robin Owens? Her story about listening to her intuition since 7 years old and how it shaped her whole adult life. It's a good one, everybody. Listen in. It's pretty amazing. So, I obviously can't get on here without at least acknowledging what's kind of happening on in the world today. I opened up an email the other day from success coach Jack Canfield, those of you that know him, amazing guy. And, he hit the nail on the head and he wrote, there's some pretty heavy stuff going on in the world right now. And the last 2 years have been hard on everyone in some way. And everyone has something that they're worried about, or they're feeling stuck, or they're feeling frustrated or offended, or what have you. Collective consciousness is at unrest for sure. Between inflation and the pandemic and war and job insecurity and the stock market and climate change, the list goes on, and especially lack and injustice. We can all feel the tension, obviously, of what's happening. And it's also not serving anyone in any capacity. So I honestly don't know what the answers are, everyone, to these complex problems that we're facing. And I have deep, deep empathy for it all. And it definitely hurts my heart, on so many levels. But I do know that I am in control in how I respond to them. And that's what I am encouraging you to do, is to really take a look at, what is it that you need to change in how you respond to circumstances like this, right? How do you need to do what I call self-care? How much news intake are you doing, right? How much are you, if you will, taking a stand for whatever the issues are out there, and not being offensive, but being more humanitarian-ish, right? So in fact, I spent a whole hour and a half with my creative roundtable group yesterday, and we talked about this. So there's a lot more to say, but I just needed to at least acknowledge, I know you're going through a lot. We all are. And we're all in this together. We're all in this together. We're all one. And so, take a look at maybe something you might need to shift in how you are being in the middle of this unrest. Yeah. Okay. All right. So sending you all a lot of love and a lot of dignity energy, right? I want you to have some dignity around what's going on. And yes, the whole thing about the woman's thing, don't even get me started. I'm doing my best to have my dignity around it and do my part in making whatever known to be known. Okay, well, let's move on to some more positive stuff. So I've been coaching creatives in the wedding industry for over 8 years of my 14 years. And here's what's kind of coming up. I'm giving you a little heads up on something that's happening in my world. 2023 is shaping up to be the biggest and the busiest year ever for the wedding industry, given what happened, obviously, in 2020. So what's coming August 8th through the 12th is I'm super excited to share the virtual stage with 28 speakers in the upcoming Wedding Summit Series, the Growth Edition. This is a huge summit, everybody. So many options for you to participate. So behind the scenes, as I'm getting prepared for this, well, I'm telling you, I am so impressed with Margot Fraze. She's the producer and the host of the summit. She does this twice a year. There are so many levels and layers going on here. If this was an in-person event, wow, it would be a major event to experience. But she and her team are putting together incredible content and platforms to learn and to network, right? So for 5 days, again, this is in August 8th through the 12th, we're bringing you presentations and interviews and panels from literally over 50 industry experts who are going to share how they have grown their businesses and help me make a plan for growth, identify revenue streams, hire people you trust, and make more money. We like that. And I will be on a mindset growth panel on Monday, August 8th, sharing about your wealth consciousness and how it affects your sales and your revenues. My main 25-minute solo presentation, I believe it's on Monday, the 8th. It's called 6 Steps to Go After What Lights You Up Without Fear. Use your intuition instead of logic to make it happen. It's all about that, following your joy and intuition and growing your business. So I also have a workbook. It's a bonus workbook that's in the all access pass section, which is an upgraded version. It's free, but you can, upgrade, as you all know how that works. So totally excited to bring this to you. If you're in the wedding industry, if you're not, it's great too. It's for all creatives. I mean, she's got people in and out of the industry, in this. So there's something for everybody. And she puts on a real, class event. So registration, FYI, begins July 25th. Okay. So I am giving a little sneak peek right now. Mark it on your calendars. Registration begins the 25th. And again, it's free. And then you have upgraded options. They're pretty nominal. I think it's $67 or $97 or something like that, where you can actually have access to all of the content and the recordings beyond the 24-hour typical period when you're doing it for free. Okay, so this then is a perfect segue to introducing you to my next guests. We have a duo on the podcast with us, and I'm super delighted to share with you because in my experience, knowing them and coaching them since January 2020, they are what I call the gentleman's gentleman. They're genuine, they're caring, they're class acts, they're very talented, and always a joy to be with, whether I'm coaching them or I'm with them socially. Wait till you see for yourself. They will share their high-level intuition as men. Guys, you will like this. Listen up. Intuition's not just for women. They both have beautiful families, married to their longtime sweethearts. And there's, like I said, a delight to know. Tony London is the owner and chief inspiration officer, love that title, of DJ Maestro, based in Denver, Colorado. And DJ Maestro is a multi-state DJ and live music production company. They provide DJs and live musicians for weddings and corporate and private events. And they have employees spanning from Los Angeles to New York City, providing services for 2,000 events a year. That's a lot of music. Love that. And then Shayn, we love Shayn. Shayn Herndon, make sure I get that right. Shayn Herndon is Tony's West Coast manager, who's on DJ Maestro's executive team. And he's the lead DJ out of Los Angeles, where he lives. And he's also a longtime actor. Welcome, guys, to Follow Your Joy podcast.
So glad to be here.
Yay.
So happy. That was so sweet. That was such a nice introduction. That warmed my soul. Thank you, Marla.
Yeah, you're so welcome. So, guys, I thought, before we launch into our conversation, I want to share how we met, which, Tony, as you know, back in October 2019, we were at Wedding MBA, which is an industry conference, a 3-day conference every year. And I was a speaker. And Tony attended my Raising Your Wealth Consciousness for Higher Sales Conversion speaking presentation. And we began coaching and up-leveling his business in January 2020 before the big pandemic hit. And then we navigated the coaching, his business, all through 2020. Boy, that one, God. Which you did, Tony, an incredible job given the roller coaster ride you were on. And after we coached privately, you then had me coach your team in sales, which was a total blast. And that's where I met Shayn. I love it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I met Shayn. And we've done, several things since. And it's truly a joyful relationship. As we, continue obviously with the coaching. And right now, and this is my own personal shout out and plug for them, is that we're now building a speaking platform for them, for Tony and Shayn. So be on the watch, everyone, because they're going to be showing up at conferences, like the Wedding Summit I was just sharing with you. And if you really want to hear a unique topic from successful DJs, their perspective on relational selling, not transactional selling, and how to build the connection with your prospective clients, let me tell you, it's really outstanding. And we've had a blast putting it together. Right, guys?
That's for sure.
It's been such a joy, Marla. I feel like ever since I met you, you've transformed, obviously, us as entrepreneurs, but the great thing is you always dig into us personally. So all of it's been such a great time of growth. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it is definitely a mutual admiration society going on here. Okay, let's go ahead and let's hear your inspiring stories. This is why we're here. Because I really want everybody to, really you're going to really understand why these guys are in a class of themselves. So let's start with, tell us about, Tony, let's have you start. Tell us about the work that you do and why you chose DJing and event production.
Yeah, I would love to tell you about that. So I started DJing when I was in high school. So I think I was 16 years old and a sophomore, and just kind of picked it up, DJed through the second half of high school all the way through college, and really loved it. But I didn't ever think at that time that it was something that would become a career. It was something I did, for fun on the weekends, and that's what it was. But towards the end of college, my wife and I, we had a surprise child, and so life started changing real quick. So I had my brand new daughter, and right after college, I was working in restaurant and hotel management. And some people are cut out for that and they love it. But to me, it just sucked my soul, and I needed to get out. But I also knew I needed something that could be stable and provide what my new growing family needed. And around that same time, after college, a bunch of my friends were starting to get married. They knew I was a DJ. And so I had a lot of people who were asking me to DJ their weddings at that time. And I thought, maybe this is it. I love doing this. I love relationships. I love being with people. And I knew other companies that did this in the area. And I thought, I think I can do it way better than them. And I think I can make something out of this, and something that would also be flexible and allow me to be a present father, not just working all day, every day, and not have time for my family. So I decided to give it a go and jumped in, quit my job in restaurant management, and made a run at it. And here we are over 11 years later, and it's now just, grown from just me to Shayn and the rest of our team of about 30. And I mean, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a great story. It sounds like it was, the story of the accidental DJ and entrepreneur.
It totally was.
Right?
It totally was.
Have you
Yeah,
heard that saying, the accidental entrepreneur,
Yeah. I think that's right on. I mean, it kind of just fell into place. I did not think that this is what I was going to do. I actually thought that restaurant and hotel management was going to be my lifelong career. And I am so glad it's not.
And that right there too, and obviously we'll talk a little more, but that right there, you paid attention to what was not joyful.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, now that we're kind of in this context, right, is that you were wanting to follow your joy and your intuition. And, here you were in an industry that like you said, it was soul sucking.
Yes.
Like, God, it can be hard. That's for sure. Restaurant management. It's like, and I have family members, they used to be, they're not anymore. They owned a restaurant for 10 years and it's a 24/7, lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You never get away from it.
Yeah, it is hard work.
Yeah. And yeah, it's very hard work. So those of you that are in the restaurant business, I bow to you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't cut out for it. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have tough enough skin.
Yeah. Well,
That's tough.
It's okay that you're not cut out for that, but at least you were able to honor that and play those cards right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. I mean, when in the last interview, Robin too, similar thing. She was in the banking industry.
Mm-hmm.
And she too said, oh my God, this is, after getting a business degree, she was like, I don't like this. I don't want to be in the banking industry.
Yeah.
And, she took a sharp right turn and then started to follow her joy, just like what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool. Shayn, so tell us about obviously what you do and why you chose the DJ gig.
Yeah, absolutely. Similar to Tony, I kind of fell into it. It was never a plan of mine. I started in college. Before that, all of my jobs were basically, again, like Tony, dabbling in the things that brought me no joy. It was retail jobs. It was restaurant jobs, which can be fun. But the thing that I felt was missing was the relationship aspect. You feel like a vendor. It's just the conversations are always too quick. There's nothing fulfilling about the interactions that you have while you're working with other people. So it was draining. And then Tony approached me. I knew Tony in college. He approached me and he asked if I could come along and help attend a photo booth that he was. The photo booth was at a wedding that he was DJing. So it started off. I was just the photo booth attendant. And I had so much fun. Like it seemed so silly at the time, but just being at a wedding, I love weddings. Like I've always loved weddings. It's one of the most fun events to attend. So to think that I could work at such a fun environment was really intriguing. And then we slowly I transitioned into DJing. And I didn't know it, but I fell in love with it. Like I didn't expect it at all. I don't think every DJing job is as relational as this one. And I think a lot of it has to do with how Tony has set up his business and what brings him joy and the direction that he put DJ Maestro on. Because how we operate, it's relational first, it's relationship first. And in that environment, I found so much joy, and I've always been such a sucker for rom-coms. Ever since I was a little boy, like rom-coms were my genre. And I found that just like I was always obsessed and wanted like a perfect love story. And to have a job where you go in and you get to provide a soundtrack for these people's love stories, it's so fun. Like it's so rewarding. Like these days that we're at are some of the happiest days that these people are ever going to have. It's such a special moment. So to be a part of that, to be brought into that inner circle, it's so fulfilling. It's such a big blessing. Yeah, it lit me up for sure.
Well, look, there's something to say to be financially rewarded for doing your joy.
Absolutely.
I mean, hello.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point is in the entrepreneurial world. And you guys know that, being with me and knowing, our relationship, that's my whole purpose. I want you making money with joy, right? I want you making money, right? With being, and I call it, being rewarded financially for your purpose, not your time. And joy is in there, please. So,
yeah.
And I've always said this to you guys. I said it to other DJ clients. So I love music, as you know. It's like, you guys got the best gig. You get paid to party.
For sure.
You get paid to party. I mean, really?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Right.
Yeah, it's wild. We get to be the fun. Like,
get to be the fun.
Yeah, it's extraordinary.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, what a great niche. Oh, I love it. And you too. It's interesting. You both have the same thing. It's like I just kind of fell into this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we all know that's not the case. We all know it. We know with the way that we all live through universal law, and we attract, law of attraction, and that which we create. I mean, that was obviously orchestrated for you, somewhere along the line. So you're in the right slot, right? Apparently, years later, here we are. Love that. So let's move into the question, how perfect, segue into this one. What brings you the most joy in your work?
For me, that's, super easy one. Connecting with other people. That's what brings me the most joy. And it's not just true in my work and business, but throughout my personal life as well. And I've always strongly believed that relationships are the most important and fulfilling thing in life. And, if we're not taking care of and communing with the people around us, really, what's the point of anything? And I believe that everyone has inherent value and that we should use what we have to not only be a blessing to ourselves, but also to be a blessing to others. And that's been my philosophy in life for as long as I can remember. And that naturally just became the driving force behind DJ Maestro as I started it, like I said, over 11 years ago. And which continues to be the main influencer in all our decisions as a company, from how we treat and interact with our employees to how we serve and connect with our clients. And those clients often become lasting friends because of that perspective, I believe.
Yeah, no, that's it. See, this is exactly why this is exactly why it's a pleasure to work with Tony and Shayn and his team. The rest of the team is just as great as they are. I've witnessed this to be very true behind the scenes, right? Because I've had that privilege to be behind the scenes with you, obviously, because Tony's culture is this. It's exactly what he has shared with you. And anyone would be lucky to work with this company, as a DJ, as well as the client, for them to be servicing their wedding or their corporate event. I mean, this is true of the culture of what you've created. Shayn, what's your take on this?
Yeah, it's similar. I think in the jobs that didn't bring me joy, again, the thing that was missing was the relationship with people. And I feel like specifically as a wedding DJ, I get to meet couples every week and really get to know them, get to know how they met, get to know what their dreams are for their wedding day. And a wedding is something that like you dream of as a kid. Like, this is such a special day. in people's lives. So just to be invited into that space, because it is such an intimate space, to be invited into that space and share with them and be able to listen to them and hear what brings them joy, and then be able to on the day celebrate their love story to people that you've gotten to know and you've gotten to care about. And I think that's, again, like that's a big, that's a way that we have to operate as a company is the relationship first, because on that day, like it's a unique experience when you actually care for those people. It's you really, you get to be there on the best day of their life, celebrating their love story. That's a unique love story. It's not like anything you've heard in the past, because every couple is unique, and you get to be there and express who they are and make the day sound like them. It's so rewarding.
Yeah. You know, it's so cool. I mean, you wear your heart on your sleeve. I mean, it's part of your, it's part of your, what I call your, your genius, right? It's one of your genius traits is that, you have a very big, kind heart as a creative, as an artist. And it's pretty cool that, you're in the right slot of what you just explained, what brings you joy in what you do, to be able to say what you say, now after how many years, 10 years you've been doing this? Yeah.
Yeah. About 10 years. Yeah.
10 years to still say that. I mean, it says something, and it's just, you're in the right slot.
Oh yeah. You feel it. You feel it in the gut.
Yeah.
You feel it in the gut for sure.
That is it. So yeah, speaking of gut and intuition, let's move into my, core question. Share a story, Tony, about your life or business when you followed your intuition that led to a joyful, fulfilling result.
Like I said before, I really truly believe that relationships are the most important thing in life, and also listening intuitively to those you surround yourself with. And living that out and focusing on that belief has often woven some pretty cool stories in my life that just organically intertwine my business and personal life in some pretty meaningful ways. One story that comes to mind is it started a few years before I started DJ Maestro, while I was in college. In college, I had a pretty wide network of friends, and one of those friends was named Paige. And I knew Paige because she was part of the sister sorority to the fraternity I was in. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know her super well, but she was always very kind, and I always enjoyed my interactions with her. And so shortly after college, she got married to her husband, Wes, and they asked me to be their wedding DJ. So of course, I jumped at the opportunity. And through that, I got to know Paige and Wes more and solidified a lasting relationship with them. Now, fast forward a few more years to the point where I just started to establish DJ Maestro as a high-end DJ company in the Denver area. And, this, like I had said before, I had just made the jump to dedicating myself to the company full time. One day, I got an email kind of out of the blue from Paige, and she asked me to meet up and chat about the new job she had, and how we might be able to work together. And so we got together, and it turned out that Paige had gotten a job managing a wedding and event venue and was interested in bringing my company on as their in-house DJ. So we started working together, and in that capacity, everything kind of made sense. But things didn't stop there. So a while after that, the company that she was with started to acquire additional venues, and because of our relationship that we had built with the company and with Paige and the level of care and dedication we were showing to their clients, they asked us to partner with them at their new venues as well. And so now, years later, we're the in-house DJ for all their Colorado venues, and have DJ'd and provided service for tons of their events with them. And it's just really cool, because when I started my relationship with Paige, I had a hunch, and my intuition told me to continue that connection, but I honestly had no idea that it would lead to so much growth from a business perspective, or even that Paige would end up working in a similar field. I honestly have countless stories like that where relationships that have nothing to do with business just organically lead to huge successes and leaps forward in my personal life. Those relationships that, I don't even know are going to have anything to do with business. They get cultivated and then somehow just blossom into these amazing things that just bring so much success on a professional level as well.
Yeah. Well, it's not, I love the story. It's not surprising to me knowing you. I mean, Tony, I've said this too many times. You just attract good to you. It's just you
Yeah, he
emanate,
does.
right, Shayn?
Yeah, he does.
I
If
mean,
you guys can't see him, but his smile is beaming right now.
it's true, man. His big smile.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
No.
if
you
when you
guys.
meet Tony, it's like he just emanates positive energy. He's always
Absolutely.
smiling. He's always got something nice to say. He's got that vibe.
Mm.
So, it's not surprising that you obviously, listen to your intuition. Maybe, I don't know, were you even aware at the time that was intuition, or is that just probably not?
Not really, I think it's you just I feel like you just like you can recognize good people
Like,
and people that are worthwhile to have in your life. And when you realize that, you just hang on to it. And I feel like that's kind of been a natural thing for me to do
right.
for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, 100%. And that too, everyone, is, regardless if you realize it's your intuition, it is.
Hmm.
And that's something, obviously, what I'm, aspiring to encourage you, teach you, and all of that, is to start paying attention to what you're being drawn to,
Hmm.
who you're being drawn to, especially. Right.
Hmm.
Who are you being drawn to, rather than it just feel like this, oh, this is kind of symbiotic. This is kind of cool. This is, we got some synchronicity, which is cool. But I really, like what Tony, and you do this all the time. You were doing it back in the college days, and it was kind of leading the path for you. So again, guys, you have this intuition, right?
For sure.
Right, Tony?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
Shane? Right.
Yeah.
You have this intuition, and this is one of many reasons I wanted to have Tony and Shayn on the show, because guys don't think they have intuition, at least the ones I've met. If you're listening and you do, awesome. I love that. But don't you think that most guys don't think they have intuition?
Yeah. I'll just jump in. For me, I honestly I have to be careful and use discernment, because I struggle with a lot of anxiety. So sometimes my anxiety will flag as intuition. Like it almost feels like, hey, your body's telling you to do something, but it's just my anxiety. And so
Right.
I think like a good rule for me, and an anxiety will absolutely clog up your intuition. Like, like you can't be anxious and be able to listen to your
Right.
intuition. And for me, it's really hard to distinguish which is it. Like, is it just my anxiety, or is it something I need to be following?
Yeah.
And so the thing that I've really decided is where's the peace? Because I don't believe intuition. I don't believe anxiety will ever bring you peace, but your intuition will.
Yeah.
And for me, that's how, like, meeting Tony, it just felt, there's something about him and about that relationship that brought me so much peace. And I didn't know what it was going to lead into. And it was a very just personal relationship at first, but it kind of like Tony's experience, it leads into this business relationship that is so fulfilling. And because of the following of the intuition, it's successful. It's where we're supposed to be. And for me, it was just following the piece.
Yeah. Pointed out something, really important, and that is the distinction between, is this intuition warning me, right? Or is it really anxiety and fear?
Right.
And
Right.
your distinction is spot on, is that your intuition, it's there not only to, yes, at times to protect you for sure. Like, don't take that exit off the freeway. Right?
Absolutely.
That's intuition, right? Don't walk down that street. That's your intuition. But if it originally, if it originally starts as anxiety and fear, it's not intuition.
Right.
Intuition is, everybody, it's a vibe. It's not so much a feeling. Because, and I explain this in a lot of my trainings, is that intuition is it's of the body, it's of the heart, and it's a vibe, it's a grounding, it's a positive, if you will, it's a good feeling, it's something that feels right. Okay. Because feelings are constantly changing. So it's not a feeling. Our feelings are not static. Where intuition is, because it's very grounding. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for pointing that out, especially being a guy, that you really got, yeah, that anxiety wasn't my intuition.
Yeah.
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 Awesome. I love that. Talk to us, Shayn, about your, what's your answer to your intuitive story?
Yeah. So I mean, again, meeting Tony was the leap into a very fulfilling business career. And it didn't start as a business relationship. It was something that we knew each other in college, and we actually met each other through our fraternity. I was in the fraternity, and he was a chapter advisor. And typically advisors are a very like intimidating, authoritative figure. So I should have been worried about Tony. I should have been scared. But again, like he's just someone that there was so much peace in that relationship, and he didn't have the same relationship with everyone. So it was something that, I when he asked me to do the photo booth, it was an easy yes. Like it was an easy yes. And when he asked me to DJ for the company, it's an easy yes. When he asked me to step into a management role, it's an easy yes, because of the person who Tony is. And it wasn't something that like it was planned or I like had always thought I was going to be doing this. It was just my intuition following peace. And following that spark and leaning into what I trusted. And now it's like this again, this job is so fulfilling. I get to DJ for incredible couples. And I get to be a part of their love story for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love that. So it sounds like the theme that keeps coming up for you is that, yes, you follow your joy, but what you do with your intuition, you're following your peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
What feels peaceful to you? What's grounding to you?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this is a good question for you guys. It just came up for me. And I think we talked about it in our last session. How do you use intuition on the job?
I think for me, there's a million different ways to use your intuition on the job. But for me, it's like when you meet new people, which we do often in our business, we're being invited into this really intimate, setting and moment in people's lives, and using our intuition to really, read that situation, really get to know these people, get to know, who these people are, it's like, what do they care about? What's important to them? And then how can we really fit into that and create this amazing, memorable moment for them that they'll keep for the rest of their lives. I mean, right off the bat, when we meet new clients, it's like our intuition has to be sharp. We have to be able to really read these people and really, because people don't always say everything that they want, or that they're thinking. Yeah. And so to be able to really sit in front of somebody and to be able to bring that out of them, I think is a huge way that in our industry we need to use our intuition.
Yeah, good. I like that.
Yeah, and when it translates into the day, like you're constantly you have the vision, or the couple's vision at top priority, but you're also in a room full of up to 200 people that are different age groups, different backgrounds, different ethnicities. In the goal is you want them partying at the same time. You want them on the dance floor at the same time, with specific to DJing.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to read this entire room. You're trying to pick up on the energy in the room. And so you're constantly having to use your gut to just feel where the room wants to go. And if you don't, you're going to just fall back into like what you did at the last wedding, or stuff that's not inspiring at all. And people are going to be able to tell. Like it's the set list is going to feel recycled. It's going to feel stale. It's going to feel boring. So you're constantly having to use your gut and pick up on the energy in the room to see where they want to go. Because it's like with how we operate, it's not about us. We're just always trying to read and see what the couple wants, what the guests want, and respond in that way.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's what I was looking for, is in my experience, again, with being with DJs and coaching them and understanding the industry. That's one of your key traits as a DJ.
Yeah.
Is reading
Absolutely.
the room.
Yeah.
I mean,
Totally.
your intuition, your gut, man, you got to follow that energy. You got to listen to, you got to stay connected to your people. I love that. Tell me, either one of you, both of you, is, based on your experience and your expertise, what's one tip of advice? I know you have a ton because you're very wise, but what's one tip of advice that you want to give to our creative entrepreneurs out there?
So I'll go first on this one. I would say that my piece of advice would be to focus on the people. Focus on the people that you're working with, that you're providing your product or service to. There are so many things that you can focus on as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, or even just somebody who lives in or works in a business. But you can focus on things like making money. You can focus on things like how awesome you are at doing what you do, or about the equipment that you use, and all those things are important and all those things are good. But I feel like focusing on those is a trap. They'll only get you so far and then you'll hit a wall. But focusing on people, it's the one thing I feel like that really can get you to the finish line. And I would say cultivate meaningful relationships with all those around you. And don't do it because you want to get something from it, or you think it might lead to a situation that will help get you ahead. Just focus on genuine connection and how you can serve. And I think that's key, how you can serve. Being generous and selfless, I think, is the best way to build authentic relationships. And I'd say focus on the other person, whether they're, a client or an employee, and focus on what you can do for them. And I think if you keep that focus, again, focus on the people, I think you'll be amazed at what incredible things will come out of those connections you build. And I think personal and business successes will just naturally follow without you even trying. So that's what I'd say. That's my advice.
Yeah. Good answer, Tony.
Thanks.
Amen on that. I have nothing to come back on that one. Wow. Excuse me. So yeah, Shayn, how do you want to follow up with that one?
My one piece of advice is there are no rules, and there is not a right way to do you and to do what you're wanting to do. I think more than ever, people crave authenticity. We're so inundated with perfection and performance that when we come across someone who is actually genuinely themselves, we notice. Like they stand out immediately, and we take notice. Like you said, Marla, I'm an actor as well as a DJ, and in acting, the one thing that will immediately destroy just the performance and break connection and authenticity is when the actor shifts their focus from what they truly want in the scene to how they're being perceived, how to do the scene right. What does the audience think? As soon as you shift into that thinking, your performance is no longer authentic. You're not living from your true emotion. And I think it's the same in our business goals. As soon as we shift our focus to vague goals like success or convert the sale or being impressive, we start operating out of this like tight, scripted, almost like robotic mind that's riddled with anxiety because you're trying to do the right thing, instead of just operating out of why you were doing this in the first place, instead of operating out of who you authentically are. And I think it's really important that like there's like your life, there's a life that is just meant for you. Ensure, listen, learn, like take coaching. And if something lights you up personally, then lead into that. But don't assume someone else's life experiences or wisdom are more correct than your own intuition and your own gut, because that's the only way we stand out, is if we're our authentic selves.
That's true. Authenticity is it. You know, when you said you think people, or you think more than ever people crave authenticity today. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it kind of all leads to that. So thank you for that. Love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Thank you.
All right. So you see what I mean, everyone? I, was saying what I was saying for a good reason. These guys tell it like it is, and they're very genuine. So thank you for all that. Tell everybody where they can get in touch with you, and, especially about the speaking. Imagine these guys speaking to your audience, everyone. That's who would be in front of your audience. So, anyway, I'm going to stop being a publicist here.
No, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Go ahead. Where can they get a hold of you?
So for me, I guess for both of us, really, on our website, djmaestro.com is a great place to reach out to us. And my personal email, which you're more than welcome to send me an email at, is tony@djmaestro.com. And just for the record, Maestro is Maestro. So that's a tough one for a lot of people, but djmaestro.com. Yeah, Shayn, how about you?
Yeah, you can also find us on Instagram. It's @official_DJ Maestro. And yeah, besides the website, you feel free to reach out on my personal email as well. It's Shayn@djmaestro.com. And if you're in the LA area, I'd love to grab coffee. Let's do it. Email me. Let's set something up. I love meeting other entrepreneurs. Let's meet.
I love that. So yeah, those will all be in the show notes, guys. So all the spelling, especially because Shayn spells his name very different. It's Shayn. But yes, all your info will be in the show notes for you all to connect with them. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone, for you being here, guys. And remember, you, Tony, Shayn, and you listeners, to follow your joy, because it's your intuition giving you a clue to keep doing that.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you so much, Marla. This was so fun.
Thanks, guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Wasn't that an inspiring conversation? Hey, thanks for listening in. You can find more entrepreneurial stories and resources at marladiane.com. And while you're there, enjoy my 3 free downloads to up-level your business and your life. And how about you take a screenshot of this episode and tag me on Instagram by sharing your highlights of what you learned today. I'd love that. Until next episode, take care.